Good morning, Nat.
Good morning, Pete.
Nat, I am pumped up today. Woo!
What's got you excited today?
Well, there's nothing more exciting than spending $25,000 redoing your roof. How much more exciting can you have than that?
Well, I could think of a few ways, yeah.
So, bottom line is, you live in a house long enough. I've never lived in a house long enough. We finally are living in a house long enough where we have to re-roof it, and we've got to paint it, new carpet, and new water heaters and all. It's killing me. Right. So, but finally, after 18 years, the 30-year roof that only lasts 18 years, don't get me going. Right. So we have to get our roof done. Got to write that big check. So be it. And I was thinking to myself, holy cow, I wish I had Brock Warner with Mighty Dog Roofing here, because God, he was incredible. The story he told about leaving the corporate world, starting the Mighty Dog franchise, and then building it, growing. And then I think he's going back into the corporate world and having the business on the side. I thought that was such a powerful podcast. I thought we'd share that again with the listeners.
Yeah, I think they always love to hear those stories, the goodies.
Yeah, right. A success story. And again, I really wish Brock was here. It could have done my roof for me, because the Mighty Dog's pretty awesome. So with that, why don't we let everybody take a listen to Brock Warner and his success story with Mighty Dog Roofing. Welcome to the Hire Yourself podcast. My name is Pete Gilfill, and I'm here with my producer, Sean Smith. Good morning, Sean.
Morning, Pete.
Oh, man, I'm bummed out today.
That never happens. Why are you bummed out?
I know I'm never bummed out, but I'm bummed out. I told you I was going to get the opportunity to test drive that new all new Mach-E. Yeah. And I ordered this thing. So it came in, and this is the Mach-E GT with the Performance Edition on it. So it is a beautiful car, right? 21-inch wheels. It's beautiful gray. The interior is incredible. And I got to drive it. And it was probably the best vehicle I've ever driven in my life, Sean.
Let me guess, your wife made you send it back.
Yeah. So she saw it. I said, this is the greatest car I've ever driven in my life. I really want this. And she goes, I think I'm looking at the window sticker. It's $73,000. I don't see you really need a $73,000 sports car. So the car went away, and I am so bummed, because Ford has done an amazing job. The performance in terms of driving it was probably one of the best driving experiences. And I've been to driving schools and all that kind of stuff. And it's just, it's the steering is just on point. The acceleration, it is just tuned perfect. And, but anyways, so I'm bummed out.
Yeah.
But I am excited. We got a very special guest. One of my favorite candidates that I ever worked with is going to be joining us today. So welcome, Brock Warner. It's great to have you here.
Yeah, thank you. Why do I feel like you say that about everybody?
No. We I think had a great connection, and I'm so excited to have you here. We worked with each other last year from that standpoint, and you came to me as a corporate executive. And kind of saying, hey, I want to learn about this franchise. I'm not so sure. I got this good corporate career from that standpoint. And so let's start at the beginning. So you came to me and you said, Pete, I want to learn about this. I'm not so sure. What were you thinking? I mean, you have this very successful, you were a vice president of an organization. So what motivated you to look at or consider investing in a franchise?
Yeah, it was several things. One of them was COVID. I was helping run a company, and as a highly compensated individual in that company, I was an obvious let go when that company had to downsize. And
Sure.
I don't bemoan that fact at all. They were right, but I looked at that and thought, okay, there's one reason to hire yourself, so you can let yourself go when you want. And then the second really was, I'm getting older. I have the genes that allows me to have, hair, and still dark hair, but I'm in my mid 50s. And so I started looking at it thinking, there's going to be a point where someone's going to say, hey, Brock, it's time to hit the pasture. And I'm not a retirement guy. Yeah. So my dad retired at 80. I have no intention of retiring. So that kind of put me in a place of checking things out.
Yeah. So for you, it was this idea that, hey, you had to create something for yourself. You had to create your next opportunity. You had all that great business acumen and stuff like that. And then also you wanted to, I guess, leverage your experience to build something, right? Because you're not a guy that's going to just hang it up and retire. You got to be doing something. So we go through the process and you ended up investing in what franchise concept?
Yeah, Mighty Dog Roofing. Yeah, with
Mighty Dog
Horsepower
Roofing. Now,
Brands.
so
Yeah.
all right, so you come this idea that, hey, okay, I'm gonna create an opportunity for myself, and you invest in a roofing franchise. How the heck do you go from, I don't know what I'm going to do in terms of a business, to a roofing franchise?
Well, you and I discussed, you asked a couple of really good questions. One of them was, do you really care what you do if you own a company? And my answer was no, that doesn't matter to me. I like growing things. So let's go for that. The other thing I was intrigued by was home services in general. And so you helped me with that and got me in front of about 4 or 5 different concepts. And, at the end of the day with Mighty Dog, there were a couple things. One, I love the ticket. That alone kind of got me excited. I've been a whale hunter in my sales career, and so
sure,
I like big tickets.
Yeah.
And so that was one of them. And then getting to know Horsepower Brands, it became more and more obvious that I could be semi-absentee, which I know we're going to talk about.
Yeah, sure. So you decided to do roofing, and the average transaction or ticket is desirable. Number 2, it's a need; it's not a want. I mean, if I got to get my roof done, from that standpoint, and it's interesting. So there's a lot of competition out there. A lot of competition in roofing. I mean, you talk about roofing, they go, "Oh, there's so many roofers," but Mighty Dog, it's special, right? How do you come into a market where there's all these roofers and separate yourself from everybody else?
Well, I think there's a good model there. One is heavy branding. 2 is it's a really disparate marketplace, and so you have guys that we affectionately call chuck in a truck, and then you have large national or regional players. But there's always a marketplace. I think one of the lies in general about life is that scarcity exists. I just don't believe that. I believe there are opportunities. I looked at the numbers. I could grab a portion of the market. And so we'll do that through our values, through customer experience. That's really where I focus, is can I kind of change the way people expect to be treated by a contractor and a roofing contractor specifically.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about Mighty Dog Roofing, because they have got great branding. I mean, I love the superhero. I had the founders, Zach and Josh, on the other day, and they were telling us about Horsepower Brands, which we'll get to. But I mean, I like the branding. And the other thing is that you guys have, for lack of better terms, a superior experience, right? Because you guys come in, not like a normal roofer, you have a whole diagnostic kit that you can evaluate my roof probably more so than most roofers. Is that right?
Yeah, it is. And it really starts, I would say from the ground, because we're going to start with a drone. So we're going to drone the roof, which is going to pick up an awful lot of information that you don't normally get from someone scrambling on a roof.
Yeah.
And then we've got, to your point, a kit that we use that has about 6 or 7 different diagnostic tools in it. So we can really dial in, and then we create out of that a video, and that's what the customer gets to see. So I was on your roof, and now I'm going to show you everything that you trusted me to do. So it really kind of affirms that idea of integrity, and then all the other values we believe in.
I wish your Mighty Dog was here in Naperville, because we have to get a roof done, right? And so we had somebody come and give us an estimate, and we really liked the guy, but didn't do any of the things that you guys do, like the measuring the temperature of the roof to see, if you got issues there, the little microscope thing you can look in through holes to see if it's going through the base. I mean, it really separates you guys. And then you guys are very professional. Like what I read is that you guys will put like an apron around the house to catch all that debris, and that's pretty cool what you guys do there.
Yeah, it is. And it's, it is something that's in the industry. We happen to, because we're, Mighty Dog superheroes, we brand it as a cape. But boy, that thing goes up. It's well branded. So from the street, who's doing the roof, and it takes care of the landscaping for the customer. It also makes it easy on our crews to be able to clean up, which they love. So it's a really effective tool.
Now, you guys, because you're part of Horsepower Brands and Mighty Dog, you guys get special treatment when it comes to purchasing power of the roof, the shingles or the supplies, but also you carry extra warranty because you're part of that organization, right? You can offer customers extra warranty.
Yeah, we can. So, as you mentioned, I always talk about, we're kind of locally owned, but we're nationally backed. So it gives us that purchasing power and that advantage in negotiating contracts with the suppliers. And then to your point, Owens Corning gives us a platinum preferred contractor status right as we get going, which is the top 2% in the country. And so because of that, we're the only ones. I mean, there's others in town, but we're the only ones who can offer that lifetime warranty, which is really strong.
Right. So you offer, for lack of better terms, a superior warranty because you guys are part of an organization. You give them a better experience from a standpoint. So great stuff. So you have been going since, I think it was like August or September of last year. Is that right?
Yeah, September, kind of mid-September. I tell everyone we started October because those first 2 weeks. Yeah.
All right. And so I got to ask, how's it going so far?
It is going really well. We hit our projections, which I really didn't think we'd hit. I mean, I was fine with that because we're getting going, but my guys nailed it out of the box. So the first quarter of last year, which was October to December for us, was awesome. And then we really kicked off strong in what should be storm months. So we're heading into, a strong season for roofing in general. And I'm really excited about what's going on.
Well, I know you guys are in Nashville, and I hear that more storms are starting to track through that area with the way in which global changes and stuff like that. But so that's probably good business for you. We don't like to see any kind of bad events happen, but certainly that helps. And all the building and everything that's going on in Nashville, it's just you got a great market. So
thank you. So
let's talk a little bit about Horsepower Brands because they're the ones really behind Mighty Dog, and they provide the infrastructure, the support to launch you. So how did Mighty Dog do in terms of helping you launch your business, get you ready, training, and then kind of the marketing to launch it? How'd they do?
Yeah, they did really well. And I have to say, I was one of the initial, say, 10 that came on board. So there was certainly some things to learn. The thing I love about the organization, quite frankly, is that they're scaling up to support their franchisees rather than trying to stay lean to just kind of sell the brand, right? And so we have so much support from full groups that are supplementing. So what that means in the roofing industry is you file an insurance claim, I have the full backing of a group to be able to go up against the insurers when they decide they don't want to cover your roof and it should be covered. And so I get to go in the market and say, I'm going to fight for my customers. It's a really strong piece. Yeah.
I visited their headquarters of Horsepower Brands last week. And it's absolutely amazing how many people they just keep adding people. I mean, they've only been around for a year and a half and they've got a couple hundred employees. They just keep getting space, but I like it. They put resources towards helping you, whether it's the supplementing group, the call center, the digital marketing. I mean, it seems to be kind of the complete package to support franchisees as they're going forward.
Yeah, it is. And I'll tell you the other thing that's really encouraging, I guess, relationship with Horsepower Brands. They could have spun out, for instance, a gutter company, but they didn't. They're going to roll that into Mighty Dog Roofing. They could have spun out a solar company, but they didn't. They're going to roll that into the Mighty Dog concept. So it really gives me the opportunity inside of Mighty Dog to have 3 or 4 different franchises, if you will, verticals to grow my business. And that, they didn't have to do that. I mean, and I think arguably might have been smarter to do something else, right?
Well, I think what they're really trying to do is get franchisees that have very large revenue, and so that's a way in which they can do that is having multiple different services. It makes a lot of sense to me. So, and their success is based on your success. And so I think they really want you to be strong, good revenue, good profits, so that you can continue to develop. Right. So you were an executive, you had this great role. Unfortunately, you get thrown into career transition. You have to figure out your next thing. So what advice would you give to other executives that are thinking, well, maybe I should look at investing in a franchise? What advice would you give somebody that's thinking about that?
Yeah, I mean, first, I think to understand it's a reality. Pete, you really helped me kind of understand that, kind of look at, that next 10 to 15 years of, you called it a work optional lifestyle down the road, which right now that's not what it is, but it will be. And I see that. I think you really have to have the right people working for you. So I ended up with a GM that has just been top notch. In fact, half of Mighty Dog would love for him to move to their territory. So I've got that. So I think hiring good people is really strong. And then you've got to have the backing of the franchise. If they can provide the support for a semi-absentee, if they believe that model, then I think you've got a winning combination.
So then it's all about people, right? It's about finding the right business partner and a franchisor. And then when you have your own team, finding the right people.
That's right.
And whether you're a corporate executive or you're a business owner, it is all about people, right? And taking good care of them and support. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So, all right. So you have started the business and you were executive before, and now you are, I think you told me you're starting to transition to what we call executive model semi-absentee. So you're going to go back in. It sounds like you got another great corporate role as a VP for a company. So you're going to do that, and you're going to have the franchise on the side. So you're going to have to watch over your business. So have you kind of put together a plan of how you're going to do that? Because I know you got to kind of coordinate. You only have so many hours in a day. Have you kind of thought about how you're going to manage the business as you do both?
Yeah. So, early on when I first came in, I was corporate, then I was out of corporate. Now I'm going back into corporate.
Yeah.
So I at least got to see kind of the beginning to see whether my idea was going to work, and it does. I'm handling all the financials. I'm handling all the marketing and the franchisor relationships. And my GM has basically got everything else operationally. Okay. So those are the things that I see that I can do from 6 to 8 in the morning and 6 to 8 in the evening. I can do it in a lunch hour. What I want to be able to do is, in all integrity, have my employer know they're getting my hours, they're getting my best hours.
Yeah.
And then I'm creating more best hours for my company as well.
Yeah, so it's clearly understanding what your role is going to do and being able to delegate it to everybody else and then monitor and stuff like that. You can do that in your off hours. So I think that's a great strategy. And as you look towards the future, we're starting to see now the economy might be changing here a little bit.
Yeah.
We will say the R word. Interest rates are going to be going up. How do you see that impacting as we go forward, the economy, your business from that standpoint?
Yeah, it's starting to get top of mind, right? Trying to kind of figure it out whether that's going to happen or not, and if it is, then okay, what's next? And so, you've got two different ways in the roofing industry to make you got lots of different ways to make money.
Yeah.
But you've got in residential, you have retail and you have storms. If storms hit, well, then people are going to have roofs, and so no matter what's going on, roofs are always turning. Roofs turn regardless of the economic situation at a rate of 7 to 8% of all. 7 to 8% of homes are going to turn every year.
Okay.
So that's been true through all kinds of economic realities. So there's still that to get in place. And then, as a result of the marketing, as a result of being here for a while, I think we'll still be able to grab that market share that's happening regardless of what's going on in the economy. But it is a reality. For sure.
Yeah, no, I think it is. But I think you're positioned well. Again, it's a need, it's not a want, and it is recession, as much as you could say recession resistant. So absolutely. Now, if somebody's thinking about investing in a business, all right, what characteristics do you think it's important for them to have to be a business owner? We already kind of talked about people skills, right? Yeah. But what else? What other skills do you think are important to have as you look at becoming an entrepreneur?
Well, I think it's philosophical, right? There's lots of people that will disagree kind of with what I'm about to say, but I think one, you've got to be a visionary. Now, that may be to be semi-absentee, right? Because you can be a really good operator to be an owner operator, but I think you've got to be able to cast a vision to move forward with. I think you've got to be able to trust your gut. Yeah. And that is something I really believe in. And then the third thing really for me is the ability to kind of capture data, but then be able to make decisions. Because if you get into too much analysis, you're just not going to be able to move fast enough to be able to capture the market that you want to grab. So those are kind of the three things that I think about more often than anything else.
So if I got it clear, right, you kind of know where you want to go. right?
Yep.
You got to leverage that internal gut to kind of navigate through it. And then you got to
Yep.
measure with data and make decisions, because business owners make decisions, right?
Right. And you gotta know you're going to fail, right? I mean, you're going to make a decision. It's going to go the wrong way. Yep. But if you can have that kind of 10-year, 15-year view of reality, it takes the sting out of some of those losses.
yeah, absolutely. All right. I always like to ask, what's the best piece of advice anybody's ever given you?
Oh my gosh. Man, Pete. You know what? So I took the Colby tests. I don't know if you're familiar with the Colby tests.
Yeah.
And back to my point, Kathy Colby told me in her note to me, she said, trust your gut always, and don't let anyone else tell you you can't. And so that's really helped me as I've moved forward in the decision-making process she started to put me through, almost a year ago.
Yeah, well, I think that's right. You can look at all the numbers, but at some point you gotta look inside and go, is this the thing for me? All right.
Yep.
And what is your favorite book? I always like to learn about new books. What is your favorite book you've read? Yeah,
this one might not be new because it's pretty popular, but I absolutely love Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willings. That book has been, I read it 3 or 4 years ago, and it has helped me manage people. It's helped me kind of take the ownership that I'm responsible for and really let it lay on me while holding my people accountable to the things I'm training them to. So
that's awesome. Extreme. Sure. Would you say Extreme
Ownership?
Okay, Extreme Ownership. I'll go get that. Yep. That sounds great. So perfect.
Yep.
Well, congratulations on all your success with your Mighty Dog franchise. It sounds pretty cool. Congratulations on your new executive position, and I can't wait to continue to watch your success. And maybe we can do another check-in in about a year or something, because I'd love to see how it's progressing. But again, congrats on all your success.
Yeah, Pete, thank you. I appreciate the time.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, take care.
Thanks for listening to the Hire Yourself podcast. For more resources, check out our website at hireyourself.com. And remember to subscribe to this podcast to receive each episode. Please leave us a rating, and we'd love to hear your feedback or suggestions for topics.